The poem I chose to use was The Voice by Shel Silverstein. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. And it is a ballad, and I chose to do second grade. And the text that I chose was to list the listening, speaking, reading, writing, and thinking using multiple texts and genres. They had to explain visual patterns and structure in a variety of poems, and then discuss how to use the use of text structure contributes to the author's purpose. On my key concept slide, for form of poetry, The Voice is a ballad, as I've stated. This is a song-like poem that tells a story with every 4 lines. The structure of the ballad follows an ABCD rhyme pattern with an obvious and definitive meter. And the significance is that the rhyme pattern and meter supports the predictive and assuring nature of the main idea. Inner conscious existing in spite of any opposition is made emotionally and syntactically apparent because of the predictable and familiar feel of this structure. For prior knowledge, before beginning the lesson, we will spend some time talking about the different types of poems and how to identify them. As a symbol of Silverstein, the voice, I will use a seashell to bring to class and display and explain. As each student takes a few seconds to listen to the voice of the seashell, the class is asked about an even quieter voice they may hear within them. Students are encouraged to ask their parents about the inner voice when they go home, and that way we can encourage parent involvement. For the reading aloud strategies, I would model and read the poem out loud several times and present additional reading aloud strategies when teachers introduce the poems to children. Poem examples, some other poem examples would be the My Puppy Makes Pizza by Ben and School's End by Karen Adkins. For vocabulary words, I would use words like ballad and theme and voice. And for the strategies, it would be just repetition. It's a requirement when working with second graders. So the progression of discovery is to introduce the word, ask about preconceived definitions, and give proper definitions for each word. Once all the terms have been covered, we would make flashcards and play a game of Jeopardy in class. For the comprehension instruction, before reading, I would introduce the poem, including introducing the idea of a ballad poetry. After a short discussion of style, the title is read and predictions are made about the content of the text. During the reading strategy, reading the poem progresses slowly as vocal notes and thoughts are interjected to hold interest with the students. After reading strategies, after the poem is read and reread, the students are asked if it makes them think of a certain time in their lives. For writing instructions, an established journal will be used in class, and the students to write the day's poem type and meaning. The lesson's entry would include a ballad and its definition, and an attempt at a student writing their own poem or drawing a picture of the day's poem. For the assessment, the questions that I would use would be questions such as, what is a ballad poem? What is the setup of a ballad poem? What was the theme of the voice? What was the mood of the poem? Does a ballad tell a story? In the poem, what does the voice inside your head mean? I would use a quiz to ask these questions. For the differentiation for students with language and culture diversity, I would give them the translated version of the poem and the definitions, of course. And then for special needs, plenty of visual help with understanding the text. Each word or set of words has its own image for representation. Another more understandable poem is on standby in case the text is found beyond comprehension. For at-risk students, these students are closely monitored to ensure the text fits within their understanding. Should they need a scale down, answer choices are held. For enrichment students, they're asked to write their own ballad, and if time permits, possibly present them into the class.